Welcome to Bruges.
Kind of.
Sort of. Maybe near.
And welcome back to the series if you're following along. This is part 2 of our first time ever on Fred Olsen onboard Balmoral.
Yes, we're doing a 5-night sailing from the UK, stopping at Zeebrugge and
Rouen.
Somewhere in France.
If you are new to the channel, we are
Travels with David
and Mark. We bring you along for weekly cruise and travel related videos.
We do. And we come to you now from Zeebrugge. And that's why we said Bruges-ish. Sort of, nearly, because you're not in the centre of Bruges.
No, but because if you've watched our embarkation video last week, or the part 1 of this series, you'll know that we had an itinerary change due to some issues on board with
gastroenteritis.
Yeah, so they had to do a deep clean, which meant we were late leaving the port.
So instead of going to Antwerp, which was the original destination, we're in Zeebrugge.
But because of that, Fred Olsen very kindly put on a free shuttle bus from the port of Zeebrugge into Bruges.
Which direct from the ship, which is really good.
Normally you'd have to get either a train or there are other shuttles that you can get that are obviously not free.
Yeah.
Truth be told, we've already been into Bruges.
And we immediately came back.
We got on the shuttle bus.
In between us getting on the shuttle bus and arriving into the coach park area on the edge of Bruges.
Which was, half an hour drive?
Yes. The winds picked up and the snowstorm started.
It was like sleety snow, and we got off the coach in the coach park, took about 3 steps, and we're like, no.
Let's get back on the coach. Today is not the day.
Today is not the day, but we are overnighting in Zeebrugge.
Mm-hmm.
So the great thing about overnighting here is that we can try again tomorrow.
Yes, exactly that.
Yes.
And also the good thing about the coach being included, we didn't feel bad about going there, turning around and coming straight back. And we were not the only ones to do so.
No, we were not. No, but stick around with the video because later on you'll find out if we make it back into Bruges or not. I really do want to see it.
I want to get some chocolate. I want to see some of the sights. So fingers crossed, tomorrow the coaches begin again at 9 a.m.
Yes.
So we'll get up bright and early and try and get in.
Yeah. And also in this video, we're going to bring you along for our first formal night on the Fred Olsen Cruise Lines. So we'll see what that's about.
We're in the Speciality dining restaurant, the only Speciality dining restaurant on board for that. So.
Yes, we'll take you on to colours and tastes.
Yes. For now, I think we've come back onto the ship, warmed up a little bit. I think we're going to go grab a drink somewhere in the observatory, perhaps.
Yes.
Have a little chill before dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to dinner tonight. We're in the Spey restaurant.
Yes.
I'm not going to neuter you.
We're Spade.
We're going to go to Spey for dinner.
But come along as always. We will take you with us.
To the bar!
In the observatory bar today, they were serving a Valentine's Day afternoon tea with a string trio followed by Lynn on the piano. And honestly, it was so relaxing. If you want a flavour of what the atmosphere is like on a Fred Olsen sailing, it's this. Calm, serene, and the perfect place to sit back with a cocktail, read a book, or just watch the world go by.
I hope you can hear me. Look at the size of this pineapple. It's massive. A chunk. Ooh, good one.
As the snow continued to fall, Bruges in the snow would have been pretty special, but we were glad we chose to stay warm with cocktails instead, although there was this one lady in the pool. Be more like her.
Well, we've had a chilled couple of hours.
Yes, up in the observatory lounge. We love it there, don't we?
It's a lovely space. Yeah. It is gorgeous. We tried a few different cocktails as well because we've got the package, so we may as well.
We're making use of it, and they were all really yummy.
Yeah, they're all really good, well made. You can tell they've been shaken.
Yeah, I have 2 cocktails.
Out of context, can I just say? Because on Morella, our last series, they put them in like a whisk thing.
A machine that
and it didn't do what... It's not the same as when you shake a cocktail. I
have 2 cocktails that I judge, not in a judgy way, that I judge a cruise line or a bar on in general. And that's an espresso martini and a French martini. I had one of each, and they were really, really nice.
Yeah, I didn't try the espresso one because if you're a long-time watcher, you'll know I don't do coffee. But the French martini was gorgeous.
Also, actually, if you are a long-time viewer, you'll also know that I shouldn't do coffee. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And what was lovely as well, Lynn was playing again.
Yeah.
She was doing a bit more of a classical set because she said it's a bit quieter. I'm going to do a classical set. She did say last night, she made a joke about having to play the music for Canon. So I was like, Lynn, play Canon. And she's like, I'll play that first. And she did. And she plays beautifully.
And it was just such a nice vibe up there. And so if you have watched our Morella series, you'll know that we said that there wasn't much to do on that ship. And the ship was just dead, quiet, no atmosphere.
Yeah.
We said we didn't need stuff to do. We just liked there to be an atmosphere. Mm-hmm. And this has just proved it, because it was very quiet in terms of there was not a lot of people in the observatory lounge. So on paper, you would think, ooh, but we just loved sitting there chilling. There was a lady knitting.
Yeah.
It was just a really nice vibe.
Yeah, it's a prime example of the atmosphere thing, because we've not done any activities today. We've not done trivia. We've not got involved in anything, but we've had a lovely day.
Yeah, and we've been sat in the observatory lounge looking out over the snow. Just lovely.
Yeah. Oh, that's one thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We popped out onto deck and had a look at the snow.
It's ever since we got back, it's been snowing quite heavily.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever encountered snow on the deck of a cruise ship before.
First time.
That was the first time. Anyway, as you'll see, we are changed.
We have changed for dinner.
Changed for our dindins. So we're going off to Spain now.
Yes, we said about Spain early, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay. Bye.
On the way to dinner, you might notice the cabin doors change from a lighter colour to dark wood, and then back to light again. That darker section is the 30-metre chunk that was inserted into Balmoral when she was lengthened back in 2007. Anyway, on to Spey and our first meal at our allocated table, 337. Fred is still pretty traditional when it comes to dining, so expect a set table number and a fixed dining time in the main dining rooms. You can then choose up to 5 courses from daily specials or the always available menu.
That is really good. That is so flavourful but smooth, but really packs a punch. It's making my mouth water. I'm juicing out my mouth.
I've gone for the mushroom option because, well, David doesn't like mushrooms, so I never buy them when we're at home, so I never get to eat them. He doesn't let me have them in the house, if I'm honest. That's really, really... I know we keep saying everything's really tasty, but it is really tasty. It's packed full of flavour. The seasoning's perfect. The pastry is flaky. What more do you want?
So, it might not look great. Sorry, I'm put off by the person speaking that I can clearly hear saying how boring we are filming while we're eating.
Is that what they were saying?
Mm-hmm. So, it doesn't look the best, but it is really tasty. It is packed full of flavour. The sauce is really light, it's not too heavy. Very much enjoying it.
And that was dinner. That was dinner sorted. Another successful meal experience.
I would say the desserts were slight let down on this one. I had a chocolate fudge cake, which I'm pretty sure was not a chocolate fudge cake. It was more like a gâteau with a lot of cream.
So if you've watched I think it was in the last video, we said that Fred Olsen might have booked the trend of what we thought of cruise desserts. That one didn't book the trend.
No.
Why is everything so creamy?
I don't know.
Sorry, random jump cut to the room.
There were people in the corridor, and we got self-conscious.
Yes.
But yeah, the desserts were very creamy and not great tonight.
I mean, they were fine.
The rest of it, the soup was gorgeous. The main was delicious.
The carbonara, yeah, and as I think David said on camera, we looked at it and we thought, oh, it doesn't look great. Is this going to be the first letdown of the food on the cruise? But it was really, really, really tasty. Yeah. Really tasty.
Enjoyed it. We come back.
We had the after dinner tray.
We did,
because we're on the premium drinks package. They brought round the after dinner
drinks trolley.
Anything from the trolley.
If you know, you know.
And we did have something from the trolley.
We did. We had a Bailey's.
Yes.
I wish they'd had amaretto on there, because I love a Di Serono on the rocks. It's like an after dinner. I was going to say aperitif, but aperitif is before dinner.
Aperitif.
A digestif.
I need to just explain the aperitif. So, our last cruise series on YouTube was Morella, and when we upload things to YouTube pre-populates the
closed captions.
The subtitles, closed captions, yes. And in that cruise series, we went to a bar on board Morella called Aperitif. And in the translation, in the subtitle closed captions, it came up as a pair of teeth bar. and it made me howl laughing. Anyway.
Yeah, I was downstairs, I think, at the time, and then I just heard you giggling away upstairs. I was like, what's going on over there?
Because now I can't not see the word aperitif and think of...
Aperitif. Anyway, we're rambling. We've come back to the room just to drop some stuff off. And then I think... So we're going to go see the first show.
There's a comedian on in the Neptune Lounge.
Yes.
But before that, there is some country boot scooting line dancing.
Country cabaret, I think is what it's called.
In observatory. So we might just pop in and see what that's about.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Get your boot scoots on.
Mm-hmm.
Boot scoot out of here then.
You're probably going to get bored of seeing the observatory bar, but Fred Olsen are currently, in early 2026, going through a change of entertainment company. The Country Cabaret is part of the new offering, and we thought it was definitely a step up from the show we saw on the first night. It felt much more immersive.
Hit your first.
Then it was back to the fantastic Lynn on the piano, playing a few show tunes, followed by a rendition of Victoria Wood. Of course, we requested that one.
Welcome to actual Bruges.
Yes, good morning from Bruges. We've made it in.
We have...
Second attempt was successful.
Yeah, the weather is so different today than it was yesterday.
It is chilly, but there's blue skies.
Yes, we've had to move into the shade of the huge tower.
I'll show you that in a minute.
So a quick recap on last night.
Yes.
So we had dinner, we talked to you about that. And then we went to the observatory to watch Lynn perform again.
Basically, yesterday we spent the whole day in the observatory bar. And it was lovely. As you saw, we sat there, watched the snow, then it was night time when we watched Lynn play the piano.
So we were going to go see a show in the theatre, but it was really busy by the time we got there, so we decided to give that a miss and spend the night in the observatory.
Yep. Drinking and chatting.
It was lovely.
Yeah, so now we're here in Bruges. We're going to have a little mosey round, see what there is.
We've got two missions today.
Oh, yes.
One is to try some hot chocolate and some Belgian waffles, and the other is to buy some chocolates to take home.
Yeah. I can already smell...
Oh, and also to see the lovely sights. 3 missions.
Yes, I can already smell the air is sweet.
It is on the walk in, so the coach drops us... I think we might have mentioned this yesterday, but the coach dropped us about a 15-20 minute walk from where we are now, and as you enter the streets leading here,
it's just lovely.
It smells so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, delicious.
Anyway, let's go have a wander round.
We start our wanderings in the market square. Serving as a marketplace since the year 958, it's famous for the Belfry Tower and the statue of 2 local heroes who, in 1302, played a major role in the Flemish resistance against the French king. Surrounded by traditional Flemish guildhouses, with their ornate gables and bright facades, and dominated by the belfry rising above them all, this square is an absolute must-see if you're coming to Bruges. Built around 1240, the Belfry is an impressive UNESCO World Heritage Site, but that does mean there's a charge to climb it. For free though, you can head through the archway into the inner courtyard for some lovely alternative views of the tower. On to more wanderings down those famous narrow streets of Bruges. you'll stumble across scenic canals, medieval bridges, and this very Instagrammable spot. Interestingly, there's a legend that if the number of swans on the waterways of Bruges ever falls below 100, the city will fall to ruin. We didn't bother counting them. We had a far more important task: finding that Belgian hot chocolate. As well as swans and cobbled streets, Bruges isn't short of horses either. You can pay for a horse-drawn tour of the city, but honestly, you could explore the historic streets, wander the canals, and take in all of the sights without spending a penny and still have a great day out.
Well, we found the first drinking chocolate shop that we came across.
Yes, first mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished, yes. The Old Chocolate House.
I did see that it'd been recommended, though. I think it is
Yeah, that's
a favourite in
By
the
chance,
area.
we found it.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful little place, isn't it? What a cute little building.
Yeah.
Went up the little stairs.
Very narrow stairs. I think if you've got mobility issues, you might not be able to get to the tea
No,
room, which is
that's true.
upstairs.
And then we ordered a salted caramel drinking chocolate and a waffle. So it
I'm
comes
in a
as a
diabetic
little,
coma.
It comes as a little like bath bomb that you put into the hot milk. David, for some reason, decided to do it in the weirdest way possible and tip it in.
Well, no, it doesn't. You're misleading the viewers. You see,
It's on
like a bath
camera.
bomb. It's a cup with chocolate drops in it.
Yeah, and actually,
And I didn't realise that the cup the chocolate drops are in is also made of chocolate.
even though the lady said it's made of chocolate, just put it all in. Anyway,
We got there in the end.
but it was beautiful, and the waffles were stunning.
Oh yeah, really light, and
Yeah.
soft, and gorgeous, and the butterscotch sauce was divine.
Yeah, and then I had the divine moment at the end. Is that the right word? Divine idea to dip a bit of the waffle in the drinking chocolate. That was nice, wasn't it?
Yes.
Wow, that's bright.
Oh, that's really. It's the weather's a bit different from yesterday, in that it's sunny and blue skies
Yeah.
for now.
Anyway,
On to the next mission, which
Yes.
is to find a chocolate shop to buy some chocolates to take home. Wish us luck.
You will never see as many chocolate shops as you do in Bruges. It's crazy. From modern looking boutiques to very traditional storefronts, you're completely spoilt for choice. You'll be glad to know we didn't buy from the first shop we came to. And although this one appealed to our childish sense of humour, we still didn't find what we were looking for. To be honest, what we were really looking for was free samples, but we were sorely disappointed, so continued our wanderings. If you wanted to elevate your sightseeing, you can pay for a boat tour and take in the city from the canals. They do pack you into those boats though, and as much as huddling together for warmth on this freezing day sounded semi-appealing, we decided against it. With the smell of horse poo in our noses, we retraced our steps back towards the coach pickup point, heading back through those medieval streets and to a traditional chocolate shop we'd spotted on the way in.
And that's the other mission accomplished.
yeah, so we've been in, there are so many chocolate shops. We could have gone in 6 million of them.
Yes.
But we went in a few and then we settled on Mary's.
Because it's the only one that like supplies the royal family, apparently.
The Belgian royal family, it's got their appointment. So we're all,
So we've remortgaged
we've,
and bought some chocolates.
and also bless the lady that worked in there. She was like, basically, I think she just thought we've been buying chocolates for our wives.
Yeah, she was like, "You can get this for your wife," and I was like, "I will do that, thank you."
Oh my God, we're going to get hit
We're
by
gonna get killed by.
Oh my God.
We're gonna get killed by a horse. We survived.
Yeah, do be careful if you do come to Bruges. When you're walking around the cobbled streets, it's beautiful, but there are lots of horses and a lot of bikes, so just be careful about.
And cars.
Yeah,
You think some of the places you'd think would be pedestrianised?
like this feels like it should be pedestrianised. It is not.
not. We're gonna die. I don't know where we're going.
Just keep walking down here, don't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh no, we need to go that way.
So we are heading back to the ship now. I will say, Bruges,
Beautiful.
stunning.
Ah!
Nearly got killed again.
Another bike.
Another bike.
This to me feels like it should be pedestrian.
So
Anyway,
we
were
might get back to the ship. We might die before. Who knows?
We are heading back to the ship. Next time you see us, we'll be in formal attire.
Yes, we shall. But we were saying though
Bruges.
about Bruges is beautiful. It's
Yes.
so historic. Like everything looks like you're back in the medieval times.
Yeah, it's so much more we could
Beautiful.
explore.
Yeah, but we want to make sure we get back in plenty of time.
Yeah.
Wait for this horse to pass. Yeah, we want to make sure that we're back in plenty of time so we
Yes.
don't miss the boat.
All aboard, yes, is in an hour or so, isn't it?
Yes. I'm going.
Oh my god. Right, I think this is about take number 3 of trying to end this segment. But anyway, see you back on the ship for formal night. Bye.
Bye. And just like that, we're in formal
We
attire.
are formal night ready. We are, yes, back on the boat.
Yes, we got back on, then we went to the front of the ship.
Yes, so what's really cool about this ship, and this is quite rare, you don't get to do this on most ships, you can get right to the front, well, not right to the front, but you can get very close to the front of the ship and watch them bring in the ropes, which was really cool.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see.
Yeah.
There was a slight hiccup where I think a rope got caught, but they dealt with it well. Following that, we didn't know there was an afternoon tea.
Yeah, I think it's daily at a time.
Yeah, in the Thistle restaurant.
The buffet.
Thistle buffet.
Is afternoon tea, so there was a selection of cakes and sandwiches.
We only had the sandwiches because we just wanted a little pick-me-up.
They're really tasty.
We didn't want any more cake after that waffle.
No. But yeah, really tasty. And they had the longest breadstick.
It was gigantic, but also very tasty. Tasted like a pizza.
Really nice, yes.
Located on Deck 7, the Thistle Buffet restaurant is surprisingly modern and elegant. It might not have the largest serving area, but for the size of the ship it's decent, with plenty of comfy seating, a mix of table sizes, and classic decor that continues that calm cruising feel. Make sure you check the daily planner for opening times though, as it's not open all day. But one great bonus, there's a full bar and drink service to your table within the buffet.
Anyway, so now we're here, we're ready. We need to get a move on because there's the captain's cocktail party.
Yes, we need to go soon.
So that kicks off the event.
In the Neptune Lounge. So we're going to that. And then we've got Colours and Tastes at 6:30, which we're excited for, because it's the only speciality restaurant on the ship.
And it's not very expensive. So we'll tell you what it's all about a little bit later.
Anyway,
Let's go.
let's go see the captain.
Bye.
We do love getting dressed up for formal night. Let us know in the comments if you do too, or do you prefer things a bit more casual? We started our formal night in the Morning Light pub, and after soaking up the atmosphere and a few cocktails, we made our way along Deck 7 to the Neptune Lounge at the front of the ship for the captain's welcome party. If you don't have the drinks package and you enjoy a drink or two, make sure you come to this event. They certainly weren't shy with those free drinks. Before the captain arrived, there was time for a spot of ballroom dancing and an introduction to the new entertainments team that I mentioned earlier.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. How are you doing tonight?
The captain introduced his team, and then it was time to head to our reservation in the Speciality restaurant. To get there, you pass through the Lido Lounge on Deck 8, one of the main entertainment spaces on Balmoral. It hosts everything from karaoke to trivia, but there are still plenty of seats tucked away down the side if you prefer somewhere a little quieter away from the action. At the back of the lounge is the Lido bar, with fantastic floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking that beautiful aft of the ship. Anyway, on to Colours and Tastes. It's the one and only speciality restaurant on board Balmoral. It used to be purely Asian inspired, but has recently changed to a rotating menu of Asian, grill and Italian. It's currently £15 per person if booked in advance before your cruise, or £20 on board, although that's rising to £20 and £25 from April 2026. The restaurant is small, but offers an intimate and elegant experience, with that fantastic Fred Olsen service that we've come to love. Tonight's menu was the Italian offering. We'll tell you what we thought of the 3-course meal shortly, including the one thing that let it down. To close the evening, we headed back out into the Lido Lounge where the cruise director was singing, before finally calling it a night.
Good morning. Oh,
Afternoon.
good afternoon. Yes, we've had a very lazy morning actually.
We have. So I think we last left you on the way to Colours and Tastes.
Yes. What did you think of that?
So overall, very much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a great experience.
Yeah, I will say that the venue itself was lovely, but it could have done with some background music.
Yeah.
It was silent, and with only a few tables in there,
Yes.
they did make it a little bit awkward sometimes. But the food on the whole was great.
Starters were lovely.
The steak was beautiful.
The steak was perfectly cooked.
Yeah, really nice.
That was divine. I will say the steak doesn't come with anything, so make sure that you order a lot of sides.
And they were really tasty too.
Yes. So I think we got the asparagus, there was a crispy polenta, and garlic bread.
Oh, that was super tasty.
Yes, very good. So all of that, brilliant. I chose the wrong dessert.
Yeah.
So if you're going and you're on the Italian menu because it rotates, and the panna cotta's on the Italian menu,
Don't have it.
Don't get the panna cotta.
It was. If we're honest, it was inedible.
Yeah, I left
Almost
a lot
all
of it. Yeah. There was a lot of gelatin in it.
It was just so gelatinous.
Yeah. So I didn't enjoy that. But
No.
the rest of it, I enjoyed.
My bread and butter pudding was beautiful.
I tried that. That was gorgeous.
So nice. Yeah. So overall, we were impressed and very good value for money.
Yeah, so if you book it ahead of you getting on the ship, it's £20.
Yes.
It's £25 if you book it on while you're on the ship, but £20 if you pre-book it.
before.
I would say either way, it's still worth it.
Still
but
value.
try and get the £20 if you can.
Yeah.
We
We
had a fillet steak
Yeah.
for 20 quid.
We should say that completely unplanned. We didn't know this beforehand going in. We'd gone in expecting to pay. When we asked for the bill at the end, we were told, and we were very grateful, that Georgie, who we think is from the social media team at
Yes,
Fred
we do.
Olsen,
Yes.
very kindly had comped that for us.
Yes.
So yeah, it was gifted.
Yes, so thank you, Georgie, for that. I will say we formed our opinions ahead of that. Everything we've said is what we kind of said to each other at dinner. So still an honest review. Following that, we went to... Where did we go next?
Do you know, I don't know. If I'm honest, I did have a bit to drink yesterday.
Oh, I think we went to the Morning Light pub
Yes.
for a beverage. And we have to give a shout out to Johanna, who works there.
She's fab.
She's fab. So she's been looking after us brilliantly this whole trip. And she's funny, she has a laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what we love to see with the staff. They're able to talk to you and have a laugh with you.
They're really, and you know, they're so attentive on here.
Yes.
When they see that your drink's like 3/4 gone,
Or sometimes half.
or sometimes half, they are straight over to your table. Can I get you another one? And it's fab to see. And
Yes.
you know, outside of Virgin, we haven't really seen that.
No, you're very rarely looking around for someone to like try and get their attention. They
Yeah,
normally
they're
will
there.
come over to you.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So we enjoyed that. Then we went up to the observatory for a little bit. And then we went to the Lido for
Yeah, our first time in the
Lido Lounge.
Yes. So that was lovely, wasn't it? The cruise director was singing.
Jack was singing.
I don't think I filmed any of that. Who knows?
Who knows? It might have been in. So Jack got everyone on the dance floor with his tunes.
Not me.
Not you, no, but a lot of people went on the dance floor for that. That was a lot of fun. And we were there with Tom and Dom and Lizzie and Laura, and we had a right laugh.
We had such a good time.
Mainly because we realised that it was completely unplanned, but we had fully coordinated with Lizzie and Laura. So Lizzie was wearing a red dress, like a maroon dress that matched my jacket, and Laura was wearing a green dress that matched yours.
Mine, yeah.
So people probably thought we were husbands and wives.
Yes.
But overall, what did you think of Formal Night?
I really did enjoy it. So many people were getting involved, you know, in the dressed up. Mm-hmm. And it's just lovely. It's just nice vibe.
Yeah, it's nice when everyone made an effort. Everyone looked fab. And it just creates a really nice vibe on board. Did we talk about the Captain's Welcome Party?
No.
And that's what the reason I thought of that is, like I say, everyone and it feeling special. They did the Captain's Welcome Party in the Neptune Lounge, and we went to that, and that was lovely because there was a singer on there. They had people going around with like the wines and drinks and proseccos.
People were ballroom dancing.
People were ballroom dancing. We got to see some ballroom dancing and how they remember the steps,
Who knows?
I do not understand. But it was very nice to watch.
Yeah. Well, that sets the tone for the evening then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kicks it off nicely.
Yeah, just something a bit special. Didn't make so much of a difference to us because we had the drinks package, but if you didn't have the drinks package, they're going around with complimentary drinks and a selection of wines and things. And I will say that it's not, because I think it's advertised as a cocktail party, it's a wine party.
It's more wine. Yeah, but that's fine, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, overall...
Overall, really liked it. Of what,
Full
4
night,
nights?
yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a lovely time. Probably drank a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And again, we're blaming Tom and Dom and Lizzie and Laura for that because we take no responsibility for ourselves.
So that's hence why we had a slow morning this morning.
Yes.
But you joined us here in the tea room.
We're kind of in, it's the main
Atrium.
area where the staircases and guest services and all that stuff.
Really lovely space.
Really lovely
I will
space.
say, Fred Olsen do love a patterned fabric.
Yes, florals. In spring, groundbreaking. Anyway, we are going to leave this video here. So we are currently sailing down the Seine River on the way to Rouen.
So yeah, we're actually doing a bit of a river cruise right now.
We are. But if you want to see more of that, you'll have to come back next week.
You will.
Because that'll be us sailing down the river into Rouen. We've got afternoon tea coming up. We've got a martini experience coming up. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like.
Yes.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell, and then you won't miss when that video comes out.
Yes, and if you do want to join our Wandering membership tier, please consider doing that. It's just a nominal monthly fee, but it helps us bring these videos to you. So we very much appreciate everyone that has joined already.
Yes, thank you very much. And if the next video is available, it will be over Mark's face.
Why my face? No, it'll be over David's face.
Oh, it'll be over my face.
So we'll see you over there if you fancy watching that. If you've already seen that, maybe you might like this one.
And if none of those take your fancy, enjoy your day.
Yes, we'll see you next time. Bye.